What's good? What's good? NBA YouTube. It's your man, 100 Grand Ross with The Rock Never Stops, coming to you with another episode of NBA content. Today, we're going to be talking about John Wall and these New York Knicks. If you like the video, smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you can be notified of new episodes coming out. But today, we got to finally address this. Kimball Walker needs to go, and John Wall needs a home. It's not quite a match made in heaven, but it's the match that needs to happen. Kemba Walker sitting on the bench in a New York Knicks uniform is probably one of the most disrespectful and embarrassing things that the Knicks brass has done in a long time. And I want to point this out because the Knicks front office had been doing pretty good. You know what? Nah, I take that back. They had about one good season of making okay moves. I didn't like the Tom Thibbedou hire. I didn't think he was the right developmental coach. Never been known to develop players like that. As we see, Kevin Knox still hasn't developed. Mitchell Robinson is still where he was a couple years ago, except we just added some weight. Julius Randle became a all-star, but unfortunately that sped up their timeline and made them think that they were better than they really are. Then the front office brought in a bunch of veterans as if they're building around Julius Randle. And at best, he's a fringe all-star. So they kind of like pigeonhole themselves in this mediocre, uh, middling, maybe make the playoffs, playing tournament team. And now they brought home the New York kid only to bench him less than 2 months into the season. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. If you look through how the Knicks did just over the past month, the month of November, they're losing to every team that has any type of playoff legitimacy. Any type. Whether it's the Brooklyn Nets, even though that was a tough game, whether it's the Denver Nuggets, Chicago Bulls, Charlotte Hornets, any team that was doing good that looks like they're a legitimate playoff team, beat the Knicks. Beat the Knicks. Not an injury riddled Knicks, a healthy Knicks, a full Knicks squad. Evan Fournier has been there, RJ Barrett, the core guys, Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, Kemba Walker, even if he's benched. They had their squad and they couldn't win. And the reality is, we have to understand Tom Thibodeau's limitations. And I think that this is the problem oftentimes of being a New York Knicks fan and even just a part of that whole stratosphere of fandom and organization and legacy is that they always want to be better than they really are. They always want to look towards the future, but then they always think the future is right around the corner when really it's down the block, maybe a few blocks. And what ends up happening is that they make these knee jerk moves because they get a little success and they go all in way too soon. The reality was they were supposed to be building around RJ Barrett to see what he can be, not Julius Randle. I think we already know Julius Randle is at best a number three option on a championship team, a number two option on a upper tier playoff team. And as a number one option, first round exit at best. At best. And right now, they're the 11th seed in the East. And they're healthy. Something has got to change. And when I look at this team, yeah, they're going to play hard. That's what Tom Thibodeau does. Yeah, they're going to have a good defense. When they have defensive players, which I told y'all they made a huge mistake on bringing in Kemba Walker about. He doesn't play defense. Can't. Which is why he's not in the lineup. But one thing we also know about Tom Thibodeau is he is For as lauded as he is as a defensive coach, the opposite is true about him when it comes to offense. He's not only just limited, he lacks the creativity, he lacks the flexibility, the insight into how to maximize his talent on the offensive end. His offense always looks bottled up. It looks mediocre. A couple of sets that might work once in a while, but almost every shot is a tough shot. It's a hustle shot, scrambling for a loose ball, hitting the glass hard, second chance opportunities. Um, it never looks easy. It never looks easy. Now with the Bulls, he could get away with it because he had an MVP. If anybody has an MVP player, your offense is going to look solid, at least, if not good. But he ain't got no MVP. He's got a fringe all star in Julius Randle. In fact, if the Knicks don't make the playoffs or look like they're a playoff team, he may not make the All Star game this year. And so when you're looking at how to address the needs of this Knicks team, there's only one player that really comes to mind. One that's available, but two actually fits. And that's John Wall. That's John Wall. First of all, not just anybody can play in New York. You got to have a certain amount of gumption and confidence and swagger that says, yeah, I can go 2 for 20 one game. I'm exaggerating. But I can go 2 for 20, get booed out the building, come back the next night and drop 30. I believe in my game that much. You also got to have the type of experience to play for Tom Thibodeau. That means he can't worry about what you're going to do. He can't be uncertain about if you know where to be, what they're trying to accomplish. So you've got to be a veteran. You've got to have confidence. You got to have experience. But most importantly, because it's Tom Thibodeau, is you've also got to have the ability to not just run an offense, but to be the offense. You have got to be able to allow the entire offense to run through you, and it's going to run smooth. This is what the Chris Pauls do, the LaMelo Balls do, Lonzo Ball even. These guys are consummate point guards, floor generals who know how to orchestrate the offense and get the ball where it needs to be and make sure you get a quality look each time down the court. John Wall can do that, has done that his entire career. And what I love about John Wall right now is he's itching to get back. He's itching to get back. He was a five-time All Star, I believe. Max salary player, still getting paid the max. And at the same time, he knows that he's still one of the elite players, but he's just not being given the opportunity. The Knicks need him to be that All Star. The Knicks need him to be that player who can perform at a level that allows this team to finally get back on track. Get quality shots on offense regularly. Get the ball out of Julius Randle and RJ Barrett's hands and Alec Burks' hands coming down the court to set up an offense. Get the ball out of their hands. Give it to John Wall. Let him tell them where to be, what plays to run. Make the post entry passes. Run the pick and rolls to give them easy buckets. Throw that lob to Mitchell Robinson and Nerlens Noel. Kickouts to Barrett. Let Julius do a little, high post, facilitating, attacking the rim, and make it easy for once. For once. And on the other end, John Wall has never been a slouch on defense. He's always brought it on that end. So you don't have to worry about that. And at 6'4", he gives you that switchability that you want to have a high level defense. Now, how this also helps his team is also gives them depth. If they can make this trade with just Kemba, maybe a draft pick, if they don't develop him anyways, maybe give him Kevin Knox and somebody else. If they can keep their depth, I think this team will get back into the playoff hunt. I think they'll get back to that 7, 8, 9 seed. They'll get back. The East is going to be a dogfight all the way through. So there's going to be very little room for error, for having to figure things out, not knowing what to do next, because that's where the Knicks are right now, and that's why they're the 11th seed. So if they can make this trade within the next, I would say 2 weeks, 2 weeks, they're going to turn the season around and make the playoffs. If this goes a month with this type of roster and no point guard, they're not making the playoffs. I'm calling it right now. If they go into January with this current roster, they will not make the playoffs. They won't be there. If you like this video, or you may not like the video if you're a Knicks fan, or you might, who knows, who knows. But hit that like button because I love talking about it. And I'm gonna talk about some more in a little bit. Subscribe, leave some comments, smash the bell. I got some more stuff coming out today. Um, but yeah, let's see what John Wall does. I think he's gonna get there. I think he's gonna get there. And I think he's gonna turn some things around. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.